All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for HunterxHunter, episode 121.
And the thing that I have been always wanting is happening.
Here.
Assuming they decide to deal with that this episode, but I would think so.
I would think so.
Cliffhanger of last episode.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf has encountered
is there.
Nekopito, and
Gone, and the unconscious Kamugi, critical condition, and all that jazz. So
there's so much that can happen right here. There's so much craziness.
Oh man!
We're in deep, Jacob. This is
gonna be awesome.
This is gonna be good. Yeah. In terms of characters that right now have just some insane, driven, emotionally, charged, stuff going on in here.
Yep.
It's gonna get dicey.
Yeah.
And Killua is not here.
Yeah, Killua's not there. Because actually, if Killua was there, it would be a lot simpler.
I know, that's my point.
Yeah, because Killua would defend them, and then Gon would just brood, and then, and then there you go.
Nepeta would continue with what she's doing.
Right. But no. Gon doesn't exactly have the greatest motivation to keep this happening. Yeah. In fact, he might be like, oh no, but yeah,
I know exactly. It doesn't go necessarily one way or the other. Guys, we're hyped. We're ready. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, we're gonna start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Oh boy.
Gon hasn't moved at all.
Nope.
And he's like, of course they meet. Yeah, but he's just like, okay, and then he goes back.
Blue ball.
You just try again. You just go away. You gotta fight you can try
we're starting complete gibberish.
Yeah, it basically is. Yeah.
In a lot of ways, I'm more excited about this than I am about 116.
Yep.
Oh boy.
It's none of your business.
Oh shoot! I love how Gon's here with 2 Royal Guard. Oh. Cool.
All right. Sounds good.
Oh, is he at a power outlet?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The magic word. This is scary. Yes, he's lying to you to make you feel better.
Because his friend's hurting.
Yep. Yep.
Wouldn't that be awesome if that was Netterowen?
It's not.
Or the Zoldyck dragon flying away. He's like, the impudence of this little brat. He tells me to shut up.
The setting for this is so chilling. I was joking.
No.
Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, now you've done it, gone. Yeah. There's that connection that triggers him. Oh.
Gon's trying to keep 2 of them CC'd. Not that that's his, reasoning for it, but... Yeah. A great many things.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, did we just go into a recap episode? Okay.
Dang. Whoa. So is that spiritual message?
I think it's just subtext of,
Yeah. I think it is subtext too, but...
Are we finally going to see how much it's at?
5,091 or something?
That actually, if it was that, it looked like more like 50,091, but that's...
Oh, I thought I saw
way
4
it's that high.
characters. Yeah, I thought I saw 4 characters.
Oh, okay.
Jeez. Whoa.
I would like to rage.
Yeah. Whoa, that look actually looked like a ballot. Did you see that?
It kind of did.
Yeah. Oh!
Stay calm and let rage consume me.
Wow! Whoa!
Awesome!
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Wow. That's amazing.
Sweet.
Jeez. Oh. What? Jeez.
No,
it is
55,000.
Wow.
Holy crap.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That was if he used it as at a bare minimum.
Yeah. crap.
Just keep running, stay split up, and...
Wow. Guys, this is nuts.
Oh, wow. There should only be, like, a couple of them left at this point.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Jeez.
man.
This is going to come down to the wire right here.
Yeah.
Morel might die here.
Yeah. But
This
I
might be
think
it.
they'll be able to take care of Youpi.
Oh, maybe Melioron?
Hey, that would be awesome. But Melioron would, like, have to carry him.
Wow.
What is that thing that's floating behind me?
Whoa. Respect.
Huh. And yet they kept going.
Wow. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Whoa. Jeez.
Oh. Maybe he'll go bankrupt right before, you know?
Wow.
And then Chicandes.
This show just keeps...
Okay, but they're staying here.
Oh, okay, but they are staying here, yeah.
Melioron? Melioron! Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Nav in combination with Melioron? Yep. Maybe this is a Morel technique?
No, I'd say this is just Melioron. Oh, that's bad.
Wow. Oh my god.
Oh, man. Come on, Chicandes!
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Oh my gosh.
What they'd really want to do is they'd want to start moving in circles. That way it's not obvious which way the blood is going.
Well, they could also double back on their own trail.
Uh-huh.
Oh! Knuckle!
Okay. Yeah.
Because if he dies, it's all over.
Well, even if he gets a hit on Knuckle.
Yep. Oh! Oh, he just gave Youpi a position of power, but he's also trying to stall.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah. Oh my god.
370,000.
No way. Yep.
Uh-huh. Right. But
Is he going to try and touch Candace? Oh, because he can he can talk to Knuckle.
uh-huh.
Yeah, he's gonna have to let his master die in order to save human. Oh, the pacifist and
Yeah. But this has been time like it's.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No. You did it?
Really? Oh.
Oh, man. Oh my gosh, Knuckle!
Wow.
Oh my gosh, Youpi.
Oh,
wow.
boy.
Wow. Wow.
Huh. Huh. Huh.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Lost his ability.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was an enemy, yeah. 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 It's so perfect that it's Knuckle. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're people.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Oh.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Paul.
Wow.
Holy crap. Yeah, he's strong.
Whew.
Oof.
Piggyback ride once more.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yep,
dang.
yep. Okay.
Oh, this episode.
Oh.
What the heck?
Wow. Oh, man. Oh, man.
How you doing over there? Cause me? I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
Wow. That happened.
with Youpi.
Like, screw Chekhov's gun. Like the amount of time they spent building up that whole strategy and stuff, and them, giving everything to give them the chance of taking that monster down, and then
Gone.
all gone.
It's all gone.
Yeah. So it's all gone now. Yeah.
I mean, some of my weirder predictions about the ending of this whole thing are starting to make more sense now. Like, oh my gosh.
So in the end, Knuckle really does have a way with doggies.
Yep.
Doggies do like Knuckle.
Guys, this is something that I just take my hat off to Hunter x Hunter.
I think I might like this episode better than 116.
This episode is really freaking good.
This episode is really freaking good because here's the thing: 116, you know it was going to be good, right? They've been building up to it for so long and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But this, they built up to it. They had been building up to this, but in ways that you didn't expect because of all the stuff with APR and and all the craziness that had been happening. Oh man, this is good.
This is so good because wow. what they have here is we have the Chimera Ant evolution through just experience and time and maybe some combat in there and utilization of Nen and emotions and all these other things. But what it seemed like is Youpi's becoming more and more human. He's able to control his rage. He's able to quarantine it, as they said.
Right.
He's able to deny his original simple nature in some ways.
Right.
And make choices that are in some ways contradictory to his original purpose.
Yeah, he doesn't fully understand the choices, much in the same way that Knuckle, I love how they said that upon seeing the bloodied Morel, he just broke.
Right, because it made him think of shoot.
Yeah. Like, and it's like, oh. Whew.
So guys, this was something where humanity won out here.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Youpi has changed forever.
Yep.
And they said he was cured of, what did they say, of the ability to see things simply.
Yes.
Something like that.
He lost the ability.
To see things simply.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, wait a minute.
That's a statement right there.
That's huge. Is this what's happening to all, in some ways, the Chimera Ants?
Yeah, because...
And his just happened first because he was the simplest?
Well, but did it? Because the whole thing that we saw with Neferpito, that was her own version of it. Now we're seeing it with Youpi. And then
it happened a long time ago.
Right.
And this is just the most recent progression that we've seen.
Right. In the same way that Meruem had it with Kamugi, right? Yeah. That evolution, right? It's this really cool way where there's the whole idea of the Chimera Ants, specifically the Royal Guard and the King being all the next stage of evolution and all that stuff. But really what's happening is that they're evolving to get to the level of humans. And which is just really cool as an idea. And now Shia LaBeouf, the butterfly, the one that should be all about that evolution,
right,
is the last one, and he might not be able to.
Possibly.
Like,
also, I like that this is something where Youpi's thing of where he, in my mind, was considered the loyal good doggy back then.
Yep.
He essentially broke character with that here.
Right.
He did something that was counter to that.
Right.
And the show paid specific attention to it, saying if his first priority was to protect the king, he would have just killed them.
Yeah, right.
So that means it's something else now.
Right. The idea that he
can choose that now.
I see him as he is still a good doggy.
Oh yes.
And he loves the king very much, right? And then the king is his master. He is his human or his king, right? And he is very happy to serve the king.
I think he's also happy to show the king, look, I've changed.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Some new development.
But here's the thing. The idea that he's still a good doggy and he can like other people too.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So he can choose his master. Do you think that this story is going to end with Youpi surviving this?
I hope so now. I really hope so.
I really think that we are going to go into some kind of a weird place where it's going to be very ambiguous, at least for the next little bit, whether or not this could have a peaceful solution.
Yeah. Here's one of the reasons. Here's one of the ways, though, that they could do something really twisted here. Okay. Now, they don't have to do this.
Okay.
But let's say Youpi actually does find the king. Now, they said that the Royal Guard wouldn't reach the king in time if Netero was at the spot. So that probably isn't going to happen since they had since they had them say that. They had Nav come in and say that. So, but if they did have Youpi show up, and let's say, okay, he's a good doggy, so he's going to defend the king, and that means fighting Netero. Well, what if they did something where Youpi basically then became the tragic death?
Oh,
where
yeah.
Netero,
I see it.
pulverized Youpi.
Yeah, I think that would work especially well, though, if there was any reason to delay the Netero-Meruem fight.
Right. But
and the reasons for that seem like they wouldn't delay it that much.
Right, and the fact
especially since they're so removed from everything.
Yes, and the fact that they brought it up here makes me think that they're going to be moving over to that within the next few episodes.
Sure. That's a good point.
Even if they don't like give it full 100% focus, right away. But oh boy. And then of course, there's the whole thing that we were originally hyped for, which is Gon and Neferpitou and Shia LaBeouf.
Oh my gosh. Gon was terrifying. Just like, don't move.
Mm-hmm. Like, shut up.
His commands.
Yeah, right.
Just And now we're going to have a talking exposition thing with clever mind games being done in the subtext, probably, like you were saying.
Sure.
That Shia LaBeouf needs this info so that he can go to the king.
Exactly, because he doesn't want to be here, really, even though Komugi is here and he doesn't like Komugi.
Right, but do you see kind of the way in which now all the Royal Guard are in some way going back to the king, or like needing new orders from the king? Like they
sure, because Neferpitou kind of has her standing orders from the king.
Right, but I'm wondering when we see new development with the Neferpitou Gon situation, Komugi and all that.
Yeah.
Does she have the best picture of the king right now because she's so close to Komugi? And do the others have kind of a misinterpretation of the king? I know Shia LaBeouf does, of course.
Right.
But is it going to be more of a thing of where they'll come to the king and they'll see him, and maybe they won't get there until the fight's over,
right? And
maybe they'll both be like dead, or like they'll both be beaten down, and it'll be just this thing of like, wait, this isn't the king, maybe.
Right.
And I'm just saying the change, but the ability for now the Chimera and Royal Guards to change who they are is huge. Right. And I like that we're seeing it first with Youpi, who was probably the last one we expected to have this kind of a change.
Right, because he was the simplest. So and in a lot of ways that can make it easier because then any change is a lot more noticeable. Because like because he was so like, I am a good doggy, kind of a thing. That way any change that they do show is magnified.
Right. It's also that it's kind like I'm with you on that. It's that because we had less to go on beforehand than we did with Neferpitou and Shia LaBeouf, we are seeing this evolution as actually like character depth where there wasn't any. So it means more. It means more in that instance. And that's why we're so excited to be like, please let Youpi live. Like let Youpi make his way through this. Like,
oh boy.
Like if he can. Wow. Yeah. Like it's so cool because now we're I think just getting another picture of what's going on with the Chimera Ant arc in general, but also what's going on with like the king, what's going on with Gon in some ways. It's the whole idea of quarantining your rage.
Oh yeah.
And remaining calm.
Have you tried the cage the rage technique? Yeah. But oh boy, all that stuff, like Knuckles awesome. Like it's one of those things where like once it disappeared, I was like, no, you've got to be kidding me, Knuckle, what are you doing? But then it's like, no, but you can't stay mad at him. Like can you really? Like,
oh well, this is the thing though. This is the thing is that the thing about Knuckle is, they have him and Shoot. They have their little bit of ego in there. Their little bit of their thing. Yep. Just their pride, and it's less of a negative thing than I'm making it sound, but it's something where the thing that breaks that is seeing the people he cares about being hurt and stuff, because he's one that he doesn't want to hurt anyone unless they absolutely need it. And in this case, it makes so much sense why he was able to do it. Like, he almost didn't even hesitate in some ways once Melioran and Morel split there.
Yeah.
And you see now that he's left to to go and keep doing this and stuff.
Yep.
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's they were doing the impossible. Like they were actually doing the thing that they had been told to do, the insane tall order of stop this monster, right? And like they were probably really close. Like
we know they were close. The narrator told us.
Yeah. And that wasn't like at the end. That was like when they were still talking and stuff that was happening. So Knuckle probably could have defeated Youpi if he had let
Morel die.
Let Morel die.
Yeah. Do you wonder whether or not this is the side of where the humans, kind of the hunters in general, but I'm drawing the distinction because this is the side of humanity that Youpi tapped into in some ways, and that's why they're showcasing it in this way. Basically, he tapped into the side of things that is basically who Knuckle is.
Sure. Yeah.
And this is also in direct contrast to what they showed previously in the episode, which is where Gon's rage is at.
Yep.
And also the people kind of, surrounding Gon in this case, more so specifically Shia LaBeouf, as he's kind of entered into this whole scenario, have kind of held on to their specific thing, and maybe they're being held back from the potential to evolve. And Gon's the kind of person also who needs to have closure to this at some point. So in some ways, even though we kind of expect a lot of pain and a lot of sadness and a lot of rage coming up with this whole thing with Gon and Neferpitou, is this going to be a thing of where we're going to need to see essentially the sight of a broken Morel in order to stop, the broken Morel equivalent for Gon? What is that?
Well,
or is there anything? Or
basically the thing is that there's two things that came to mind. One is Broken Kite. He's already seen that. That's why he's here. The other is Broken Killa. I don't think that is it. No. I don't think that's anymore.
Happening.
But even if it did happen, I don't think that would do it.
Well,
I
think they chose to have these two scenes, these two moments in the story happen simultaneously.
Very intentionally.
Oh yeah. It does feel almost a bit like dense, the episode, just in terms of what we were given.
A lot of stuff that happened.
A lot of things that are big more so for the characters than the plot itself.
Right, because all the stuff of Youpi needing to go through the smoke clones and stuff, that had been set up previously. That wasn't some new thing. The whole thing of his rage explodey thing,
Right, that's all to build up the dramatic tension of when Knuckle reveals himself.
Right. And
I don't know, guys. The thing that Jacob said about this episode being potentially even better than 116 in his opinion, I see where you get that, because there's something about this episode where you realize the potential for the story and all of what it's been building to does not have to go in a simple way. Does not have to go at the behest of the emotions that came from the past. It can be built upon from the experience of what happens in these few minutes, even especially in these few minutes, showcasing that change happens very quickly, and it's something that
about 10% every
every 10 seconds.
10 seconds, yeah.
Compound interest, man.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, oh man, this
is a crazy thing to bring up. The idea of Youpi essentially having his change, his evolution, affected even by compound interest because it was happening so rapidly. That it's the 10% that builds off of the 110% that builds off of the
121% that builds off of the 133.1 or whatever. So, if any of you guys have seen the movie Amadeus, I feel like Salieri right now. In that basically, I just picked up, a Mozart, thing, and it just falls through my fingers, and it's just spreading across the floor. And I feel like I have the ability to properly appreciate this in potential, but not yet. Like that basically this is an episode where in order to properly appreciate it, I'm going to need to watch it like one or more times. 2 or 3 more times. Because to compare it to something like 116 was like Gone, it was simple and raw, and painful.
Yes.
This was something different because it was taking the simple, both with Knuckle and Youpi, and in some cases Morel, and then turning it into something that's not so simple.
Yeah.
Like the fact that
was actually well said, because Youpi's simplicity was, Yeah.
And I feel like that's how they're basically drawing the comparison from, well, one between Youpi and Knuckle, because they're both strong, simple, good boys, that want to take care of the things that they care about, right?
Right.
And in this, I'd need to go back to that, but and then of course it's in contrast with Gone and Shia LaBeouf and Neferpito and all them, whereas Neferpito has that that simple care about the things that she cares about, right? And then you have Gone, who has that simple care, and then you have Shia LaBeouf, who's a whole nother thing entirely. His own form of simple care, but it's
his own bag of cats.
Right, but the thing is that his simple care is a simple care of himself. It is very selfish.
Shoot.
Even the way in which he cares about the king, he really just cares about himself, because he cares about his own idealized version of the king in his own headspace, right?
It's true.
In the same way with Gone, it is a selfish care because he's holding on to the pain, he's holding on to how he feels, and who can blame him? That is a very human thing to do. Yep. Because
it just doesn't change what it is, though.
Right, it doesn't change what it is.
Right.
And then you have what happened with Youpi and Morel and Knuckle and Melioron,
Right, and Knuckle's going to be thinking about this choice for a long time.
A
very long time.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Normally, the fact that it was the APR, compound interest, all that stuff, I feel like that really did add a crap ton to this. And that's surprising for me to say, in my mind, because it's just a number that just keeps going up. But the thing is that is a way to basically show just how hopeless their situation is, right? And as it keeps going, they see more and more how hopeless their situation was, and then also know there is actually a glimmer of hope for this impossible thing that we've been asked to do, and the amount of bloodshed that the blood has been spilled on our own side to make us have this sliver of a shot. Glimmer and slimmer, sliver, whatever.
A slim glimmer.
Yeah, a slim glimmer. Yeah, exactly. A sliver of a glimmer of a shot. And the fact that they give... Because here's the thing. when you think about what it means to be human, and you're comparing it against like what it means to be an animal versus like what it means to be a machine. Those are two common comparisons in media for
Sure.
like humans, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that it is for when you compare humans to animals is that they have the ability to choose, right? And then when you compare humans to machines, it's they have the ability to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? This was both here.
Right.
But you can't completely call it a mistake, because was it tactically a mistake? Yes.
Sure.
Was it something different than what Morel told him to do? Yes. Was it contrary to their original objective? Yes.
But was it a mistake?
But was it a mistake?
Who
Can
knows?
you actually look at it and say that
You
it
don't
was
know.
a mistake? You don't know. Because, because they don't know the future,
I love
right?
that the narrator didn't tell us too.
Uh-huh,
You realize
yeah.
that there were a lot
Yeah.
of moments where the narrator was basically used to give us Youpi's internal thoughts because they were so important.
Yeah.
But
Or Knuckles.
the only time they actually said that this will come to backfire
was
is
with
because
Melioron revealing Morel. Yeah.
yes, it was because yes.
Yeah, yeah. And even when it came to like the whole thing of like, will the Royal Guard get there in time? They didn't have the narrator say that. They had Nov come and say
Yep.
that. And then of course Nov
Nav is
that's
nuts.
that's like you want to talk about blood being spilled. Nov may not have bled.
Oh, he's gone.
But he's
I'm making
I'm not
the
even
pun,
gonna make
yes.
the pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's gone. There have been casualties.
Already,
Even if ends up being saved, right? Even if Morel ends up being saved, even if Nov doesn't actually die, there have been casualties, right?
Yeah.
And
This is heavy because
Knuckle basically
carry on, my wayward son.
yeah.
Be peace when you are done.
Lay your weary head to rest.
Don't you cry no more.
Yeah, like
I really am glad that Knuckle not only is staying, but he's also, thinking about the continuation of the mission.
Yeah.
But he's not going after Youpi.
No.
Because this is something that I think a lesser show would have done, is to showcase the depth of this character's resolve, is to have them go, well, I still have work to do. And then they go back and would chase Youpi. And it'd be like, did you not see the character growth that just happened right here?
Well,
did
and
you not
that's-
see the acknowledgement?
Right. Well,
did you not see the connection? Maybe even, not like
Well,
you
and
said,
Knuckle
good
said that. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I cannot see that.
the reason to defeat him.
The reason to defeat him. Yeah.
But they prefaced that like overtly to make sure they understood us, really, that we understood that it made no sense in his in his being to go after Youpi. And I think that this is something again where Knuckle is here to help others. He is here really. He's probably in some ways the kind of the real hero.
Yeah,
of this
if you
whole
were
arc.
talking about the hero with the pure heart kind of a thing, that would be Knuckle.
That would be Knuckle.
Yeah.
And it's something where, for all of his talk about being like, a pacifist and, all these other things and stuff, he's still sticking true to the mission, which is something that blows my mind again.
Yeah.
And we have Melioron, I would say, trying to do the right thing, even when it was a tactically bad thing as well, with revealing, Morel.
Oh no, I think that was it
was both a tactical risk.
Right. It was a tactical risk that ended up not paying off, but it kind of did pay off in the sense that he was trying to make it be like, no, let Morel be able to speak to him and say, let him hear him and say, no, don't do this. What are you doing? But then of course Knuckle, that ended up breaking him.
Right.
One of the, if Knuckle even had the chance now to snap his fingers and have
back to that.
No, not go back to that even.
Okay.
But just to instantly have all the interest that had been accumulated go back onto Youpi as Youpi's heading towards the king.
Oh, he wouldn't do it.
I don't think he'd do it.
No.
And yeah.
So really, now the question is, what's next for Youpi? Like,
I don't know.
Is he just going to leave the story? Like, are they going to have a Youpi alone episode?
Hey, that I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Like
that would be pretty awesome.
The episode where they then showcase like Netero and Meruem and their fight or what have you. Is it just going to be this thing where at some point when they're doing that, Youpi's just gonna show up,
right?
Or maybe like
Silva's
on the way,
gonna drop down and be like, yeah, no further,
Or is it going to be a thing of Youpi will see just like gods doing battle, and he'll just be like,
the king doesn't need my help.
yeah, not just that, but maybe like, what am I supposed to be? Who am I?
What am I
to be?
doing here?
Yeah.
What are any of us doing here?
Right.
What was I?
I kind of just want him, because he's got this infinite kind of evolutionary thing with not only the beasts and stuff, but also just potentially becoming human. It would just be the coolest thing to have them just kind of tease us again and have him just realize, I really want... And then he doesn't finish the sentence and he just runs off.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
that would be...
He wants something.
Right.
And then he makes the choice to go after it. He denies everything
so cool.
after that.
So
and it would just be like...
No, see, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. What I want to see... And, again, this is one of those never gonna happen things.
I mean, Jay, we can't say that anymore. It's HunterxHunter.
Yeah, it's HunterxHunter. But, like, I want to see, like, Youpi and Knuckle basically, like... sitting down together, talking amidst like 24 dogs.
Okay, and Youpi's, this is never gonna happen.
And Youpi's like, what are these things? And he's like, give them a scratch. They love it. And he's like, oh, this does feel kind of nice, or something like that. He's like, I feel a kindred spirit to these small furry creatures,
Youpi confirmed a furry.
Like that, because yeah. But man, wow.
Guys, I hope that it's made perfectly clear that the reason why like we're so dumbfounded by this episode is because we feel like we're in the presence of greatness, and it's just broken us a little bit.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This is something that I think is very important to say. What they did here, the idea of the two opponents that fight for a long time and then don't kill each other, and we've learned respect for each other or whatever, and then they end up going their separate ways. That isn't anything new.
No.
Right?
No.
And I feel like because of that, there needs to be special attention drawn to this, because otherwise it could be sort of brushed aside
or misattributed.
Something. Yeah, as basically less than it is, right? Okay. Because if you were to tell me that that's sort of what happens this episode, right? I'd be like, okay, all right, whatever, I suppose. But the way they did it and made it so grounded in the characters, in the human aspects of them, right? How much they struggled with this, how much they struggled to even make the decision, and afterwards, and how much you can see and interpret Youpi is struggling because of all this stuff that's happening that he doesn't get, and all these, feelings that he's having that he doesn't really understand, losing the ability to think of things, simply. That, I mean, well, one, that reminds me of another story that I much know and love, about a robot that, starts to have feelings and doesn't know what to do with them. But this was, I did not see this coming. No. This totally sidelined me, and the whole thing of the Chekhov's gun thing, like yes. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the idea that if in a book, you're reading a book, and they say that there's a gun hanging above the doorway, right? Then at some point, that gun is going to be taken off of the doorway. It's going to be used or something. There's a reason that they specifically put that there, because it's a story, you have limited real estate, you don't want to spend time setting something up that doesn't end up having anything happen with it, right? Even if it's a minor thing.
Yeah.
The fact that they spent so much time working to defeat Youpi with this very specific strategy and all that
with
stuff.
APR and all
with
that. With
APR and everything, which is exactly what they would do in this given situation, and it was great. It was a fantastic mechanic to this fight, right? But the fact that they did all of that and then got rid of it specifically just for an emotional payoff moment, it's kind of like they're basically putting all their chips in and saying, this is how important we believe this to be. It's like a reverse lingering moment,
sure.
where when lingering moments are generally
Yes.
used to basically have an empty space to reflect and draw attention to what just happened, right? Because they're basically saying, we're taking this real estate of the story and essentially kind of throwing it away because we want you to focus on this one thing that just happened, right?
Nothing else about it is nearly as important as it.
Right.
And therefore, we need you to be honed in and focused so that you don't misinterpret why this is important.
And this is basically like a reverse lingering moment, retconning everything else that happened to be kind of a lingering moment. I guess that would be called build-up. But because you didn't realize that it was building up to this, it makes it so incredibly powerful. Like, because a lot of times I feel like HunterxHunter will specifically flip the table on you because it wants
to flip the table on you.
Because it wants to flip the table on you. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's more of just a fun thing because the flipping of the table itself is interesting, right? Right? But this is something where it's like, oh man, like this was painstakingly crafted to be a specific way, and you can see how, in the context of the grander story going on here that Togashi is writing, it's something that just can't be like, we can't even properly discuss it right now because we're still reeling from having actually perceived it. And like you could say like I could totally see people saying like, oh, it was great, but it wasn't worth the number of episodes they spent building it up. And that's a legitimate thing to say because they did spend a lot of time building it up, right? But I feel like that just even more makes it this thing of this is the pearl of great price, the thing that cannot with value that cannot be quantified.
Yes.
You know, and it was intentionally done. You know, it
I need to go and rewatch this episode about 3 times, and I need to sit back and pick apart Youpi's dialogue, or more or less he is monologuing his internal thoughts and the narrator's commentary,
and even the pauses, like
the pauses too. There were a couple things in here that I don't feel like you can even get with just this episode being the most recent one. I feel like we're gonna look back on this episode also with like hindsight and have even more value added to this choice here
because of what happens later,
because of what's going to happen later. So guys, I don't know what I'm feeling right now. I feel like Youpi,
much like Youpi.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in that state where I got basically the rug pulled out from under me, got sucker punched, and now I'm crawling towards basically the feet of Togashi, being like, "Can you do it again?" It's like, please.
Well, Knuckles gonna try and do it again, and that's one of the things that just blows my mind. Like, because right now he's essentially the only one that can still fight. If you think about that, like okay, there's Gon and Killa, right, and wherever they are, yeah.
Killa's right. Killa's the main one,
but Nav is out of the fight. Morel is out of the fight. Shoot, Shirt is out of the fight.
Yeah,
right. So now it's basically him and Melioron, and then and
they're a great combo.
Right, they're a great combo.
It might be them stopping Shia LaBeouf, actually.
Sure, I could totally
actually would
see
be
that
a great
happening.
drawn out fight to have. Is basically it's the contrast of where you have how the Youpi exchange went, and they came to an understanding. But the thing is that Shia LaBeouf is so wrapped up in himself, he won't be able to build any connection or anything like that.
Do you know what would be even worse of a combo?
What's that?
So let's say Shia LaBeouf thinks he finds out where the king is, and he goes off to meet him, and him and Youpi are going there together, and Youpi's like, I think I found something, and Shia LaBeouf's like, no, you're an idiot, I don't want to listen to what you have to say, and then he's like, no, really, and he's like, oh, what, Youpi, what happened, where did you go? Like,
yeah.
I thought I felt, bad that I was thinking on the same level as you, but now you're thinking on a level beyond me, what's going on?
Or you're just thinking on a stupid level, this is a waste of your time, Youpi. You shouldn't be thinking about these things.
But
I found it. And
and that would just be amazing. But what if Knuckle basically comes up and he's like, gone. Okay, I realize this is a very big deal for you. Here's what I'm gonna do. He punches Neferpito once, twice, whatever, and then he's like, I'm gonna wait here with you. Now, it's not going to do anything to her, but I've timed it that she'll go bankrupt right around the time that the hour runs out.
Oh no!
So that basically,
I fear for Knuckles' life if he does that.
But
from not Neferpito.
Right? No, I know. But basically, he could say, "Oh yeah," because then she wouldn't be able to bring Kite back. Yeah, but as far as like crazy combos, if they wanted to just make Neferpito not be a problem, because they have her in one place, she's not going to be fighting anybody.
I don't see a problem with Neferpito at all in the future.
Oh yeah, me
I'm
neither.
worried about what Gon's going to do.
Yeah.
Like I have no fear about her.
But
she's in some ways signed her own death warrant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love it because that's her empathy, that's her compassion, that's her care for the king. Is that her life means nothing compared to the king. It's all about the king.
Oh, I just thought of something else too.
What's that?
What if Knuckle goes up against Gon? And he's basically like,
he needs to calm.
You need to calm down. You need another 30-day timeout.
Oh, dang.
Like,
I think in some ways that's kind of the best way for him to get therapy. He would have no Nen.
Right.
And he would just have to sit there
and actually deal with his emotions and cry and all that. Yeah, because that's what he needs right now.
Yeah, he needs therapy.
Yeah, but oh boy.
The Knuckle punches and then runs away therapy. It's like, we'll deal with you in a few hours.
Well, yeah, because Gon would be waiting there too, and it's just Chicandes, and he wouldn't want to leave there because Neferpito's there, so he'd just be like,
oh my gosh, that's such a stupid, hilarious theory. But guys, let's call it here.
Yeah,
I think that we are so like just inside because of this whole thing.
Yeah,
I think in the time it takes between us recording this episode and the next episode, I'm going to rewatch this episode a couple times and just kind of get prepped for it, because I feel like I'm not able to give you guys exactly the proper discussion, at least from my end, because this episode took so much that was kind of in my head to be how they were and why they were doing this.
Right.
That I'm now just reeling. So, guys, I think that Hunter's got something special here, in not only that the story has a specific vision, that everything is painstakingly crafted to go a specific way, but even when they have their pacing issues and they have their specific things that they've garnered like proper build-up and context for a large ambitious conflict of multiple characters and stuff, they're still able to have moments like this that will just floor you, defy all expectations, and
in the best possible way,
and bring essentially the viewers to their knees, like just being like, we're not worthy, because it's a completely different type of episode than 116. I got I can't compare the two. They're just too different for me.
Sure.
I still have to say, like, I am incredulous. So if we have better stuff than this, like coming up, here's my thought. I have constantly tried to rectify in my mind, and this is maybe just like a little bit of like surprise on my part. So a lot of people regard Hunter x Hunter as a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I look for consistency in masterpieces more so than I look for really high highs.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting here is that I think that Togashi writes at a masterpiece level a lot of the times. And the thing is that it's these episodes, it's these moments, it's these
where
things
he pulls back the curtain,
pulls back the curtain and reveals like how well he can write something, but also how much he needs to bring you along a bit, in order to get these levels of payoff. And he's willing to do that. I think it doesn't make Hunter x Hunter a masterpiece. It just makes Togashi's writing, when he does this, stand out.
What
so much
exactly
more.
Yeah, that's what I would say it is it makes it, say what you want of, Hunter x Hunter being a masterpiece or not, or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever.
But you will not find something like this,
often,
or ever. Like, if there is something, that does this, let us know.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like if there's one big takeaway from this, from the standpoint of like, for creatives out there, you know,
Oh, sure.
is that you cannot underestimate the incredible, unbelievable power of simplicity. What they did in this episode was very simple. It had a lot of mechanics to the fight and whatnot. But when it comes down to what the episode is all about, the emotional grounding of it, the punch, if you will, it's very simple. Same thing with 116, you know.
Yeah.
Like it was all kept very, very simple.
And we're talking story here, guys. There's obviously a lot of presentation elements in here.
Right.
But with the story
with
as
what's
a whole,
happening in the narrative, you know.
It's a mastery of simplicity with regards to the execution and
which feels
also just the impact of, I would say, conflict resolution.
Yeah. And it feels really weird to call HunterxHunter the master of simplicity because it likes to make things very complicated.
I think that's
actually with, like, its power systems and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's actually something that we might have, maybe even the general HunterxHunter fandom might have it misattributed, is that HunterxHunter isn't a masterpiece because of all of its complexity. It's actually a masterpiece because all of its complexity leads to perfectly executed, simple, character-driven moments.
Yeah, and
they're character-driven. All of its complexity things that I hear about generally are regarding its non-character-based things, except when it comes to, I would say, twists on characters. But those aren't generally complex, they're just subversions.
Right.
Subversion does not equal complexity.
Simple contradictions and simple twists. I mean, generally those are the best because But But
this is an example of complex writing and maybe a complex build-up because it's ambitious.
Complex build-up for sure.
But the actual final resolution of this specific conflict was so simple and character-driven.
And you realize how simple you realize that for all the complexity of the build-up was actually very simple this whole time. The complexity basically adds realism because nothing in life is so straightforward. So there are...
It doesn't feel as contrived as most other stories.
Exactly, It's not some straight line path. It's meandering, it has all kinds of other things. But then when you look at it overall, you're like,
it's something to where I'm so incredulous about it that I can't really see how a human being came to the conclusions that the story would go this way from the beginning. And I think that's actually why Togashi's discovery-based storytelling technique is necessary. Because you don't know necessarily how things have to go, but if you stay consistent to your characters, everything makes sense in retrospect.
And that's
because there were no breaks in logic to make things go to a specific point within the plot.
Well, and stick to your characters, have those be very well understood, so you know exactly what they do.
In some ways, they need to be pretty simple then.
But also understanding your themes because you can do themes in both like outline story and discovery-based story, and with discovery it's something where you want to keep them in mind at the forefront of your mind like the entire time. That way it will come about naturally as opposed to you needing to sort of force it in there, because if you're not if it isn't at the forefront of your mind while you're writing, then it might not get in there as much because that's not the mode you're going to be in, right? So
dude, you've been on fire this discussion. This is really good stuff you're saying, Jacob, because
this episode was fantastic.
Like if I can say anything else, I'm just applauding your discussion here. It's been so good. The only thing I can say here is realizing that this character focus here and this resolution to the conflict here came about because Togashi really cares that much about his characters. All the stuff with Nen and all of that, it's just like the
backdrop for all of this stuff.
It's the good art essentially on a well animated character interaction.
And here's one of the other things that blows me away about this. Because with something like 116 with Gon and Killua and all that, and that was fantastic. And it was something that had been being built up to for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And we'd spent so much time with these characters, so of course it's going to hit hard.
Right.
The fact that they were able to make this episode hit hard, when if you look at the characters involved, they are not important characters from the standpoint of the overarching Hunter, all that stuff.
World narrative.
Yeah, like, most of them weren't even around for, like, a good portion of the Chimera Ant arc.
Right.
Like, of just this arc that is, being dealt with right now.
Yeah.
Right? And yet, they're able to have this kind of emotional payoff.
Yeah.
Like, that just floors me.
Guys, we could go on praising this episode for forever.
Probably a very long time.
I think that if any of you have stuck around this long for the discussion bit of it, you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, Hunter as a whole thing, that thing I was talking about a masterpiece, that Hunter as a whole thing, I don't know if it's a masterpiece or not. But I would tell you that it'd be very hard in my mind as a human being to separate these episodes from the overall picture and how much something this powerful affects my perception of the overall narrative.
Right.
So it almost doesn't matter whether or not Hunter is really a masterpiece. It can deliver on these moments so well and with, in my opinion, such frequency, surprisingly, I would say, that, like, even though you could say, like, this hasn't happened to this level at any point in the show previously.
Sure, but there were a lot of points along the way. Yeah, like all the stuff with shoot and everything and all the, all that stuff leading up to this. So it's so that even though the plot time that they spent working on this puzzle of trying to take down a monster like Youpi, and the fact that was all, thrown away.
Right.
That, a man could spend his entire life looking for the perfect cherry blossom. It would not have been a wasted life.
I now know why the people in our Discord have watched this show
so many
multiple times through. So, guys, if you want to watch the next 2 episodes reactions right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about crazy episodes like this, about storytelling, about just all this good stuff. But yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.